Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for making time to join us for the third DIT Business Support webinar. This is a brainchild of the UK government's Department for International Trade, and it's in partnership with the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce. It's the third in the series. We've had conversations around greening your business, around infrastructure development and its financing. And today, the objective is no different from the previous two, which is to share valuable insights and on digital adoption. The second thing would be that we intend to share the importance of digital adoption in business, including opportunities, the challenges, and to also demonstrate how the right end-to-end digital adoption strategy can transform the value chain of businesses or organizations. And at the end of the day, that how you in your own roles at your various institutions and organizations can leverage digital technology post the pandemic. Nobody could have scripted where we find ourselves today. Everything we're doing is different. We have evolved, but we have had the next level of our evolution catalyzed by the pandemic. And so that's what we will be doing today. We'll be hearing from our keynote speaker a little later on, who has great depth of experience in the telecoms industry, and she can share quite a number with us. But before then, I'd like to invite the Country Director of the UK Government Department of International Trade, Lindsey Gilbert-Crouch, to give us a few words of welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Akwaba. It's my very great pleasure to welcome you all to today's session, which will be the third in a series of 6 webinars that DIT is co-hosting in partnership with the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to Vodafone Ghana for joining us to share their knowledge and experience on digital adoption and its benefits to businesses. The Department for International Trade in Ghana seeks to support increased bilateral trade and investment between the UK and Ghana, with a focus on supporting the sale of UK goods and services, driving UK investment into Ghana and tackling market access barriers. Key sectors include infrastructure, education, financial and professional services, and crucially for today's session, digital. Digitisation and facilitating digital adoption across sectors is a critical part of the UK-Ghana Trade, Investment and Economic Development Partnership, and digital is one of the 6 sectors of focus for the UK-Ghana Business Council. Of course, one of the key trends we have seen coming out of recent months is a significant uptick in the rates of digital adoption, and Ghanaian businesses have been no exception to this. Vodafone Ghana have been a significant force for good in the digital space during the COVID-19 crisis, not least of all with their efforts to help track the impact of the lockdown on tackling coronavirus, as well as their DreamLab AI tech that enables customers to contribute to the fight against coronavirus while they sleep. I would like to thank Tawa Bolarin and the team at Vodafone Ghana for participating today and for being so generous in sharing their work with us and others on the webinar. We look forward to hearing about your experiences and lessons learned, as well as any experiences you might have to share with other businesses. I'd like to thank the teams at the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce and DIT for their work in producing this webinar, and of course our moderator Vincent. Finally, I'd like to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy days today and joining us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lindsey, for the welcome. And you can join this conversation and stay updated by following the social media handles on your screen now. We now will turn our attention to Her Majesty's Trade Commissioner for Africa, Emma Wade-Smith, who couldn't be on the call with us, but has the following message, which is recorded and for us. So let's avert our attention to it and watch out.
Hello, I'm Emma Wade-Smith, the UK's Trade Commissioner for Africa, and I am absolutely delighted to welcome you to today's webinar. This webinar series has been brought together by a partnership between the UK's Department for International Trade's Ghana team and the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce. And this series is not just designed to help you stay in touch during these difficult times, but actually to provide you with some practical information on topical issues. So this series is going to cover issues like business resilience, how to build back better, cleaner, greener, more resiliently, the opportunities that abound in Ghana on education, infrastructure, financial and professional services, how to maintain momentum on digital adoption, and indeed how engaging with diaspora can help you achieve your business objectives. As the UK's Trade Commissioner for Africa, I lead trade and investment teams across 23 African countries. We look at providing trade continuity, tackling market access barriers, and indeed promoting trade and investment opportunities. And Ghana is a really important business partner for us. We have a great long-term partnership between Ghana and the UK, and I know that we can do even better. I know that times now are tougher than most of us have ever experienced in our lives. And as part of the UK government, we, the Department for International Trade, are here to work with you to help you achieve your business goals. And hopefully to inspire more UK companies to think about coming to do business in Ghana. We are here to help. So the purpose of this webinar, and indeed the whole webinar series, is to share strategies, best practice, insights, and to provide a platform for questions, for discussion, and for sharing of knowledge. I do hope that you'll find today's webinar useful, and please do get in touch with the Ghana Trade and Investment team to follow up. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much to Emma Wade-Smith. For more information about how you can also be a member of the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce and how that could benefit you, talk to the team via the details provided on your screen now. It's time now for us to welcome our guest speaker for the day. And Tawa Bolarin has more than 15 years of telecoms industry experience. She's worked from consumer to business-to-business segments across Europe and Africa. Tawa is currently Director of Enterprise Business Unit and Wholesale at Vodafone Ghana. She's credited with a great track record for launching new products and taking them from concept all the way to full commercial launch. And she's also been able to manage cross-functional teams to deliver an array of products and services. She comes with knowledge from the lottery and gaming industry, having had a stint with GBA and International Investments as a launch CEO prior to joining Vodafone. Tawa also previously held various leadership roles in various global companies, including Bharti Airtel Nigeria Networks, British Telecoms Global Services, and was seconded to MTN. She has also worked with Virgin Media Group, News Optimos Limited in the UK, and Carphone Warehouse Limited, as well as Sutton International Business Consulting Group. She's a chartered marketer, holds an MBA from the University of Westminster, London, and a Bachelor of Science in Mass Communication from the University of Lagos in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker for the third DIT UKGCC webinar, Tawa Bolarin.
Good morning, Vincent. Hope you're well, and thank you very much for introducing me. I'm very pleased to be joining the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce on this session. I want to start this session with a very short video. You will understand why later, so please enjoy the next 2 minutes.
Once upon a time, business as usual was often good enough. No more. Where we are going, good enough is dead. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there's only one space left to innovate in: you. Right now, you are a central point in the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, mobilization, augmentation, disintermediation, automation. Well, the list goes on. Science fiction is becoming science fact. Think about self-driving cars or computers that can learn and think. The way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be dramatically different. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you driving change, or are you being driven by it?
Excellent. So that video you just watched was it was actually published in 2016, and the content creator was talking about 2016 being one of the most transformational times that we've ever experienced. And the question was, are you driving change, or are you being driven by change? And we're in 2020, and the message remains very, very relevant. It's probably even more relevant now than it was when the video was published. And I think we can all say that this year is one that has found a lot of us being driven by change. At Vodafone, we've been driving change for a very long time. We've evolved from a telecoms company to a technology company. I'm very happy to come and share with you some of the things that we've done at Vodafone in embracing digital transformation, and also in the products and services that we provide to our customers. So when this all started at the beginning of the year, we were all, I guess, met unprepared, but some more prepared than others, because for those organizations that were already on the digital journey, adopted a lot of the digital tools, I think it was a lot easier for them to cope with the change that the pandemic provided. So from March, when this all started, about 70% of our staff started working from home and are still working from home. We kept connected to everyone. We had a common platform for sharing information. We had a platform called, or we still have a platform called Red Connect, which our CEO comes on, our workplace live, to talk to everyone. And it's a live engagement with everybody. As you know, we're telecoms operations, so that means that we also have a call center. Believe it or not, 88% of our call center staff are currently working from home. And I'm saying they are taking calls from our customers. They're able to resolve their problems. They have access to tools and resources to be able to do this working from their homes. We started a digital journey a couple of years back, and this pandemic has helped us significantly to continue that digital journey, to accelerate some of the projects that we had in place. So today, we have about 50% reduction in calls that are coming through our call centers. Our customers are talking to us through chatbots, apps, Vodafone apps on the web. We saved about 4 million CDs just on diverting calls from the typical call center into a more interactive a digital platform to engage our customers. Automated a lot of our processes. One of the things or challenges that we had at the beginning of the pandemic was, how do you register customers if everybody is supposed to maintain social distance? So something like Know Your Customer, which is a KYC registration for people who wanted to be financially included with mobile money, we had to do and automate without physically seeing our customers. And then we introduced a lot of payment channels just to make it easier for our customers to be able to pay us. We've grown in terms of transactions that are through electronic payments year on year by 100%. So that's what we've done in terms of operations. When you look at what we've also done across our stakeholder community, as part of the pandemic, before the pandemic, it's an interesting story how digital works. It's like, we've started it a long time ago, but more than now, a lot of the foundation that we've laid has become a lot more relevant. We contributed to the Data for Good project, which was in connection with the United Nations. And this is just looking at how you use anonymous data to do intelligence and insight on population movement. Where are people moving from which region are people moving to and from? And that data in itself was actually very, very useful in helping to understand the spread of COVID. We supported the government, several partners, with driving as much information as possible on the pandemic. Through social media, digital advertising, bulk SMS, we just continued every single day, sometimes 3 times a day, just informing people, giving them information about the pandemic. And then the call center for citizens of Ghana to get more informed and keep themselves daily, up to date daily. We zero rated that on our network. So if you're a Vodafone customer, you can actually call 112 for free. And this is on the government of Ghana. When you look at education, again, with the pandemic, before the pandemic, Vodafone has an instant school platform, which provides all the way from kindergarten through to secondary school. It provides you with substantive educational content, which you can access on our site for free, on our network for free. It has assessment materials. It has GES assessment materials already as well, just helping students to be able to learn without having to worry about data cost. Today, we've impacted over 70,000 students. In 2018, we started a national coding program, helping youths to code and learn development skills. Today, up to now, we've impacted about 1,500 youths on just helping them to enable them to be coders. We have a bundle that we call a data bundle and mobility bundle that we have for tertiary. And we designed this just to make sure that students will have the peace of mind to be able to learn without thinking about the cost of data. Our tertiary bundle today is the cheapest in the market. Is just a fraction of what any retail data bundle price will be. And we have quite a few schools and thousands and thousands of students on our network on this. And then finally, when this started in March, we looked at what we could do to support schools even further. So we actually published an advert inviting schools to give us their websites, and that we would love to host their website and whitelist their website for free. Today, we have over 80 schools that participated in the program. They're still on our platform, on our network. Everybody who's accessing the content from these schools are doing it for free. You don't use your own data plan to be able to do so. We have over 200 sites whitelisted on our website today, on our network rather. On supporting health, a very popular one, which is the Vodafone Health Line. It's in 5 international languages: French, Russian, Spanish. We also have all of the local languages on the helpline. So anyone can call within Ghana to just ask questions, get to know more, inform themselves about health and all the information that they need. And this is completely free. We also provided 1,700 SIMs to healthcare workers for the government, and we loaded it with airtime and data so that this could help with tracing COVID and supporting the COVID eradication or management movements. And then the Center for Disease Isolation and Treatment Facility, which was recently set up, and just getting better prepared for this kind of incidents in the future. We provided them with high-speed fiber broadband, which was installed for free. And this is just to enable e-health. So I'm going to talk about what we've done for businesses in supporting, making sure that businesses continue to operate with as minimal break in transmission as possible. So at Vodafone, we're connecting businesses for a better future. We connect businesses, we connect employees, and we connect customers to the employees and to the business. And this is at the heart of everything that we do at Vodafone. And I will talk you through some of the things that we do for businesses and that we've done as well as part of this, helping businesses to cope with the pandemic, but more importantly, to also embrace the digital transformation. So the first thing that a lot of businesses had to do was obviously get everybody working from home, and some were more ready than others. Quite a few businesses had staff that did not have either the right type of devices to be able to do it, or they didn't have fixed network where they lived, or they didn't have the right mobile package in order for them to be able to continue to work. So we actually migrated for businesses that had fixed internet on our network. We actually allowed them to transfer their data from the fixed network to the mobile phones of the employees. And we supported with devices. We supported with data sharing products for businesses, so that at least everybody will be connected irrespective of where they were working from. IoT is Internet of Things, which provides connectivity to so many devices, enabling devices to talk to each other. And for Ghana, we are actually market leaders in IoT. We provide probably 90% of the connected smart meters today in the market. The ATMs that you see where people get money from is actually connected on our network. Our POSs today are connected through our network, either through SIMs or actually through fixed connectivity. And we've grown in terms of the number of IoT SIMs that we've seen grown through this period. It's been a lot more. And there's a specific case study that I'll share with you guys later on what we've done in IoT. Business process outsourcing. So companies that need somewhere to put their servers, to host their server in a reliable, secure, proper cooling, multiple points for you to have power so that there's never a power failure, fire security, etc., etc. So as a mobile network operator, we have the ability and the capability to also help other businesses to host their servers in a very secure location. We do that for businesses today. And for businesses who actually just need a virtual server and cloud solutions, we're able to provide that today for our businesses. On call center solutions, we have a few call solutions for businesses, some of which actually doesn't even require you to do anything like have your own infrastructure. So call management solutions, which is virtual PBX. So if you have staff that are home, you can actually divert the same call that you get in the office through your switchboard can be diverted to those staff at home. And it will be answered as if they were in the office, and you don't have to worry about having to build a physical infrastructure for the call management solution. We have call center solutions that will allow you to have your own call center applications, call routing, call monitoring for your staff wherever they are, and they can actually pick up calls. Audio conferencing to interact with customers, to interact with staff, and if you want much deeper engagement, also video conferencing solution. At the heart of everything that I'm talking about is obviously connectivity. We are connected locally. We have a huge backbone, fixed network, also mobile network. We connect businesses nationally. We connect businesses even internationally. I'll show you a very small dashboard, just giving you the size of our business as Vodafone today. When you look at small business, for small business, we're a little bit more, I would say, focused, very, very focused on actually developing not just solutions that are innovative, but solutions that put small businesses and the problems that they need to solve at the heart of everything that we do, especially for digital transformation. During this pandemic, we've launched 3 products to support small businesses, and 2 of them are right in the heart of digital transformation. The first is your business online. As you know, with the lockdown means that most people are literally buying everything they need to buy remotely. Nobody wants to go anywhere to buy anything. So that's important that actually you have a website presence. It's not just enough for you to have a social media presence where people can see pictures. People need to know that your business is credible. And the only way that people can see that your business is credible is if you have a website. But most people can't do this on their own. You know, you need a specialist to come and help you to develop a website. With Vodafone today, we can actually have a website done for you within minutes, and will support you through that entire process and provide you with digital marketing tools, domain name registration, so that you are up and going. And then this makes your business borderless. Red Trader is an application that we developed specifically for traders and small and micro businesses who use physical ledger today to record their sales, to manage their inventory. This is just sits on your smartphone. You know, so if you pick up your smartphone, you download it from the Google Play Store, you can record all your inventory. It will show how much you have left when you need to order, and you can record your sales, and you can actually take payment from there. And then we thought about how easy it is for businesses to also ensure that their employees can share data. So we created a data sharer plan so that if you have a mobile plan, you can actually take the same mobile plan and share it amongst your employees. And then because September is the month for small businesses, for SME month in Vodafone Ghana, we decided to do more for our small businesses during this period. So we took a select number of businesses, I think about 50, to give them free digital advertising, so that you can get a website from Vodafone for 6 months for free, but we'll also give a few businesses free digital advertising, caller tunes, bulk SMS. We have a bulk SMS platform that will allow you to actually load your contacts and actually send messages to your contacts. And then we did a few capacity building sessions for traders and micro businesses. With the National Board for Small Scale Industries, we were actually chosen as the partner of choice to help with the stimulus fund disbursement. Today on our network, we've managed to help NBSSI disburse over 100 million to more than 120,000 businesses. And this is still going on. So this is what we've done for small businesses on our network. And then something that I consider relevant for everybody in Ghana today is that just to help with the impact, the economic impact of the pandemic, but also to promote electronic payments, to promote financial inclusion. We took a decision to make sending of money from one person to another completely free on our network. And we're the only network in Ghana today that has free mobile money transfer to everybody, irrespective of whether you're on our network today or not. It is free for you to transfer money. So I have a couple of videos also to share with you on some of what our customers have said about how we have helped them and what problem we solve for them. And this is all around digital transformation. So please enjoy the next couple of videos.
My name is Fafape Ama Echafoe. I'm the CEO of E90 Ghana Limited. E90 Ghana Limited is one of the leading and largest producers of oyster mushrooms here in Ghana. During the pandemic, Vodafone came to my aid with putting my business online. And I must say that this has really helped to find a lot of customers for me. Most customers now prefer online to in-person business. It would have been very difficult for me if my business wasn't online. So I would advise every SME here to put their business online. Never miss this opportunity.
The future is exciting. Ready?
And there's just one more, and this one is on IoT.
My name is Enoch Yabuaba, Deputy Manager for General Service and Procurement Department in Westec. Westec has been in existence for the past 25 years, and our mission and vision is to save lives and properties. Formerly, we were using the Vanguard aspects for the security systems. We've now resorted to a device which is called Alarm Intruder System, and it can be only connected with the use of internet connectivity. And since we've been able to work hand in hand with Vodafone for the past years, we resorted to them and they were able to also assist us to set up this particular system. Anytime there's an intrusion, Vodafone SIM card is able to detect which door or window has been tampered with and quickly sends the signal back to the control room, and also SMS to various people on the platform. And through that, we've been able to achieve our vision and mission in the security industry.
The future is exciting. Ready?
So that's just a couple of stories from our customers on what we've been able to do, focusing on digital. I want to leave, I'll close my session with a question that the presenter at the very beginning asked in the video that I showed you, which is, are you driving change or are you being driven by change? I think this is at the heart of this discussion. If you want to grow your business beyond what you can physically see, if you want to grow your customer base beyond what is within your reach, if you want to be more profitable, there's no other way for you to do that. And if you want to remain at the forefront of driving solutions to grow your business, I think the only way that you can do this is embracing digital tools. So thank you very much. And I'm going to leave with just telling you a little bit about Vodafone, just in case you don't know what Vodafone is. We're the second largest operator in the world with over 700 million customers. We are in 25 countries in which we have mobile operations, 19 countries in which we have fixed operations, 245 million mobile data users in emerging markets, 102 million IoT connections. These are SIMs, machines talking to machines, 100 countries that we've connected with our submarine cables, and 45 billion pounds in group service revenue as of 2020. Thank you so much, Vincent. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to do this.
Oh, thank you very much, Tawa Bolarin, for a very insightful presentation. I think that the question right at the start and at the end sums up the essence of this conversation. That are you driving change, or is change driving you? If you don't happen to the world will happen to you. And as we can see with the fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic, it's clear that we were ready to an extent, but also never ready for what we've seen. But with the number of interventions globally, it's evident that our resilience is something that we can hold dear and improve upon. And that's the digital world is definitely going to be a critical asset in that journey. So again, thank you so much for the presentation. I think we're just going to go into our Q&A in a moment and get other people to bring in if they have any questions or some insights they want to share, as this is a knowledge sharing opportunity. But thanks once again.
Well, so distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your rapt attention during the presentations. I would like to quickly run through a couple of important notices just before we go into the Q&A session. Now, with regards to the Q&A sessions, please use the chat option and send your questions through the chat, and we'll bring you into the conversation. If you have a question or a point to make to add to Tawa's insights, that would be very, very welcome. Now, as far as our quick rules, please put your phones on silent so that it doesn't disrupt the rest of the meeting, and let's have a good time. I think, for me, one of the first things I'd like to ask Tawa is to kick us off, is that in your experience, Tawa, have you come across a business or somebody who says not every business should have a web presence or a digital presence? Or is there a kind of business that can thrive in these times without having any digital presence?
Thank you very much, Vincent. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. Have I come across people who don't think every business needs a website? I think maybe quite a few, but I don't think recently that I have. I think just because of the condition that we find ourselves in recently, I think a lot more people are open to that change, just because they understand that they need to be borderless and that the customers need to reach them. I think prior to now, most people would say that, especially because of one, the cost. Without understanding the cost, especially small businesses, would just assume that, this is something that I can't afford. I'm a small business. The second is also the know-how. How do I even begin to start to build a web presence? What is involved? Where do I start? Where do I go to? I think for those two reasons, most people would just put it at the back burner, knowing it's a nice to have, but it's not a must have. I think now a lot more people understand that it's a must have, especially with so many people doing social media advertising. You have your own personal pages that you're using to promote your businesses, and then they need to be sure that that's a business that exists and that if they send another and pay you money, it won't disappear. So it's become more relevant. And then now you can also do it even if you don't know how to build a website. You have a company like Vodafone, for example, that will help you to put a web presence together. And then secondly, you can do it for very minimal cost. At the moment, we're doing a promotion for 6 months on website. So anyone who's really interested can get a website up and running right now.
What would you say, 2 or 3 things that businesses ought to do by way of innovation in their digital footprint to ensure that not only are they serving the market in their immediate geography, but can transcend borders, especially with the AFCFTA coming into effect?
I think it's not just about what you can do. It's how you want your business to grow. right? If you have an ambition to grow your business beyond either your sitting room or your kitchen, depending on what type of business you are in, or your store, or even your small office, if you want to grow beyond that, then it's very, very important that you have a digital presence. Because otherwise, you can only grow by the number of people that know how to reach you, where to reach you, and are willing to physically come to your location in order for them to patronize you or engage with you. So the question I don't think I've ever met a business, an entrepreneur that said, oh, I don't really want to do this. I just want to have 10 customers and I'll be okay. I don't think most entrepreneurs think like that. I think most entrepreneurs really, really have the ambition, right, to grow their customers, to grow the services that they offer, and to grow their revenue. And if you want to do this, then you have to grow your reach without the financial resources required to grow reach. So I could be selling to someone in Asia right now, if, for example, I was selling wigs, or even if I was a consultant and I was helping people to put together business cases, I could have customers in Asia today, right? And I'm right here in Ghana, in Accra. Now, the only way I can do that is because I'm digitally included. If I'm digitally excluded, the only people that would know me will be the people that can see my office, maybe driving by. Because I'm not, let's say, if you're not digitally included, you don't even have a social media presence. So actually nobody else will know you. Or maybe you'll have to do a newspaper advert, and therefore your distribution reach or your awareness reach is based on just how many people that newspaper can reach. And then they have to come to you. So you have to think about exactly how you want your business to grow. And I mean, the website is just one example. Even in terms of how you fulfill your customer orders, how your customers can reach you, how you have intelligence on what it is that your customers are complaining about, what you need to resolve, the data that you need to ensure that you build more efficiency into your business and to improve the product and services that you offer. I don't think you can do it without any kind of technology tools. It's just not possible. You'll have to write down every single feedback that you get and then find a way to reflect on all of those things and then build your intervention plans around something you've written down, maybe through a phone call, as opposed to you having a CRM that actually would then take the customer's issue. You can catalog it into what the issue type is. You can measure how long it took you to resolve it. And then you can count the number of issues that are very similar, which gives you some kind of insight into, oh, I need to do something about this particular problem. I've had 50% of my customers complain about the same thing.
One of the things that has been very much talked about lately has been the level of security around, digital interfaces. What are some of the measures that you would advise us all to adopt to ensure that, one, we have the right education around digital adoption, especially when it comes to security and protection from fraud and things like that? You can share the Vodafone perspective with us.
Okay, it's a broad question. Let me use payments, which is probably the most vulnerable aspect of every business. Is how do you secure payments, right? For at least for mobile financial services and technology around that, it's a regulated space. So the great news is that not any Tom, Dick, and Harry can just start a payment business and start collecting payment solutions. You need a license. There's security protocols that you have to ensure that you build into your infrastructure so that people have the confidence and peace of mind. And then when you go through the entire process of how, for example, if I was a merchant today and I would like my customers to pay me with Vodafone cash, and even the registration process of me being a merchant of Vodafone, it ensures that if I say that my business is Tawa and Sons Nigeria Limited, it is verified as Tawa and Sons Nigeria Limited, and it's a legitimate business. Therefore, we wouldn't register anyone that we're not sure of. In customer payments, for every single cash type of transaction, you will see the security protocols that are involved in that cash transaction. So you have a PIN code that you need to confirm. In some cases, you will have even dual authentication. Depending on the level of registration that you have, there are limits to what you can transfer and what you can receive, except you have additional security around that. So for payment overall, if you look at the entire payments industry, they continue to build solutions and more secure solutions every single day just to tighten the space around making sure that people's monies do not disappear. So if you wanted to have a website today and to build a payment portal on top of that so that people can pay you, you would not just have your own developer build a website. You will actually connect a payment gateway or a payment partner into that website, and the entire process around payment and remittance to your bank account and collection of that money from your customer's account goes through a completely secure channel.
Wonderful. So Tawa, questions come
if
through.
I can just say, the other thing I wanted
go
to say that, I mean, I could decide that, I don't trust this process, and therefore I'm going to go to that. I'm going to take the money, put it in a bag, depending on what type of currency is it, and I'll drive that down to the business office to pay them directly in cash. Anything could also happen to you on your way to go and pay cash. So how secure is that in itself?
We've had in recent times lots of situations where people have had to pay with life and limb, if not just losing the property, when they've tried to transport quite a substantial amount of cash across town.
Yeah.
It certainly has its downsides, and digital does offer an opportunity for us to be able to still transact business and be safe at the same time. That said, Sarah has just asked a very important question. I will give you a background to this so that this is the question. It says, what advice would you give to a business owner whose staff are afraid to get on board the company's digitalization project and hence keep sabotaging the process because they're afraid the digital systems will replace their jobs? That's a very clear and present perception, whether it's a misconception or not, that digital systems would make people redundant. That said, there's also, and this is from an example in my work as a journalist, where we found out when the government rolled out the paperless port system, where people just basically frustrated the system. The days where sometimes they said the system was down, it was just simply because somebody had failed to turn on their CPU so that they can get on the system. How do you ensure that people get on with the program and they play their part in ensuring that it's seamless and it benefits everyone?
It's a continuous journey, but I think at some point in time, as employers, I think maybe tougher calls will need to be made. If you remember the video around whether you're driving change or being driven by change, a lot of employees, you will need to drive them to the change. Some of them may be quicker in adoption than others, and the ones that are not so quick in adoption is either because there's a personal agenda or actually there's just a technology apathy. They just, when it comes to technology, they panic, and then in some cases they think, so if all of these things is happening, how do I get my job? So there will be a lot of education that you have to do in giving your employees or your stakeholders that assurance that this is actually to grow, this is not to replace, and it's a continuous process. I think it's very easy for you to put an application into place to replace a process. It's very easy for you to develop systems, but what is more difficult is getting people to use those systems. So the change management aspects of really making sure that people understand and people embrace it, and then you have to be tougher. And when I say tougher, it's pretty much either you have consequences if you don't do things the digital way. So if you're supposed to take an order, for example, on a Salesforce system, and it says if a customer comes, you have to capture the order, right? And then you decide that you're not going to use the system to capture the order, and you capture the order using your normal sales ledger. And if you have a reward structure around the number of sales that individual has made, then you make it clear to that individual that actually, if I would not recognize any sale that you have not captured using this automatic sales order, therefore you won't get your commission. So it will be up to you. So it's almost like a negative and positive reinforcement. It will be up to you to decide how you want to take the order. If we have a system to take an order and you decided to go offline, then it's not recognized and therefore you're not rewarded. So that's one way. Eventually, you will have to make harder calls on people that you know that are just not fit for the culture of the organization that you're trying to promote. You know, those will be few. So the first thing is coaching, right? Really educating, driving, and promoting the benefits. The second thing is a reward and a penalty process, so that people understand the fact that actually this is not negotiable, and therefore now I'm going to put affirmative action behind it. And then the third is maybe you need to part ways, because with employees who have not embraced what it is that the business agenda is about, then they will continue to frustrate it and consequently frustrate your customers, which is what you don't want.
And the customers are the lifeline of every business. Absolutely. So you don't want that. Yeah. So Tawa, moving on from that, if you'd, as a chartered marketer, before the evolution of the P's, we all knew there were 4 P's, and critical in that 4 P's was place. We often used to think of place as a physical location where you serve your customers. For businesses that have traditionally been in a physical location, looking at a market that has been a person-to-person business, how do you advise them to start thinking about extending their reach and migrating digital into a digital marketplace? What are some of the key things they ought to do to be able to navigate that space?
If I had to advise any business today that is physical, it would. So it depends on whether the business itself has decided that, listen, I need to do this and I need help, or the business has decided that, no, I'm not going to do this because I don't need this. So for the ones who says, I'm not going to do this and I don't need this, I'm saying, well, in that case, you need to have a plan B, because your business will not survive. You know, it's not a question of if, it's actually a question of when. You know, eventually everything else will outgrow you. Even your customers will not be interested in coming to you because they don't need to, because there's so many other people that they can buy the same services from without necessarily living the comfort of their home. For businesses who are convinced, but they don't know where to start, I guess you have to start by getting yourself informed without trying to sell Vodafone. Let me just say, getting yourself informed in terms of how do I do this. Information is so easy to get right now with the internet, that if you wanted to do something, learn something new. I have a 9-year-old son that downloads recipe, and he will tell me that, Mommy, this is what we want to make, because he's just gotten a new recipe and he's interested in, I don't know, Mexican tacos, for example. So you can get the information on exactly how it is you need to start and what you need to do. What is the next journey step for you in you trying to embrace digital? That is already available. Now, if it's something as simple as, I need to get a web presence. You know, I want a web presence not just to be just a flat page. I actually want my customers to be able to place an order. I want that order to go through an inventory. I want to be able to deliver. Then you can come to Vodafone, because we have the package to allow you not just to have your domain name registered, but also to have the information that your customers will need in terms of all of the products that you have. But then when you want to buy, you can also, then they can click on it, buy and make a payment, and then you can tie it with your delivery logistic company to actually get that delivered. So it's around knowing how to get the information that you need to start the journey to your digital journey. We do a lot of market activations and sensitization, just telling businesses what they can do. The Red Trader product, which is really for traders, is one that, I mean, for 10 CDs, you can pretty much have on your smartphone, right, an inventory, or everything that you sell in your shop can be on your smartphone. And every time somebody buys it, you can click on it to say this purchase has been made, and you can take a payment from Vodafone Cash once you've done that. And then you can actually send a receipt to the person. And you're doing this for 10 CDs a month on your mobile phone. How can this not be better than you write it down on paper? And all of your shop staff can do the same thing. So if you're thinking, oh, you know, I really want to make sure that I have an online system that can put all my sales and inventory, and then I can have a way to record it, so that even when I'm speaking to my bankers about how much revenue I generate, I can actually show them that, listen, this is the size of my company, this is currently my turnover, and therefore this is the reason why I need you to give me more money to expand my business. It's a lot easier for you to do that. So for every trader today that has to go back to their ledger and take a copy of everything they've done to give their bank manager, it just makes it more difficult for you to actually be able to get your bank to support you in growth.
Now, what would you say are the immediate upsides for digital adoption for businesses?
Reach in the quickest possible time. You can reach so many more people. Credibility also comes with transparency, because obviously if you're not doing something well, it also means that your customers can actually publish what you're not doing well. So there's transparency, there's reach, credibility, there's significant amount of cost savings. You know, you will save a lot of, if I was a restaurant today and I needed to have more customers across Ghana, and I'm not doing a delivery or pickup business, I would need to open a restaurant everywhere in order for me to reach that many more customers. But I don't need to do that with a website. I can have a website and people in Tema and I'm in Greater Accra can actually come and say, oh, you know, I like that food, I'm just going to order, and then somebody will deliver it to me. You know, so it saves you money, it expands your business beyond what you can ever imagine in terms of where your customers can be coming from. And you can also communicate and create awareness a lot quicker if you're digitally included. It takes literally less than a minute for you to be able to tell your customers or anyone out there, this is what I have for you, this is what has changed about my product. You can do that very easily. And then you just have a lot of peace of mind and efficiency. So if you look at, let's take a medium-sized business, for example, a business that has applications running, and those applications are running on a server. And let's say I'm a small insurance company. Now I have to make sure that server is always on. There's absolutely no power interruption would disturb that server. I need to make sure that I have the right fire equipment in case there's a fire. So I need to protect it from fire. I need to have the right cooling and environment in place. And you think about all that, but then you are in the insurance business. Now, if you have the right telecoms partner, that same server can be hosted in the data center of your telecoms partner. So for example, a Vodafone. So the headache of how secure is my server? Can anybody get into my server? Is it in the right environment? Is it going to be disturbed by heat because the AC is not cooling enough? Do I have 2 or 3 power points so that if power goes down, it automatically picks up with the UPS? You don't have to think about all that. You can pretty much take that server and put it in the data center so that you don't worry about that. And then there are businesses today that don't even need the investment in servers. They just go cloud, and they can host the same applications in the cloud, and they're not worried about having to keep a physical server. So there's so many things that you can do to actually focus on your core, and technology and digital inclusion allows you to focus on your core so that you can free your head and really just make sure that the tools that are available to allow you to be more efficient, to interact better with your customers, and to expand your reach is available. And then you can take money from anybody. You know, because you have digital payments. You don't have to worry about money. And the great thing about digital payments is that you can trace the source of digital payment from the start to the finish.
Wow. So you mentioned the word cloud and brought a smile to my face, because it's something that we have to deal with today if we're going to do digital work. If you dial back maybe a couple of decades or maybe just under that, we went from businesses looking at setting up, a technological environment where they'll leverage computing power, requiring to have quite a number of things on premises. Those who also scaled up after a while moved into terminal server environments where the staff or people could have terminals that dialed into a server, but all of this was on premises. Now, today, businesses have to start considering doing digital work, albeit remotely, cloud. Should we be worried about cloud? And what would you say is the upside for businesses that have been traditionally on-premises focused, having to embrace the idea of hosting their applications in the cloud?
So putting everything in your premises does not give you additional security. To be honest, it just costs you a lot more money, because the environment that you need for you to store and keep IT equipment working and functioning okay requires a lot more investment. And more importantly, if anything happens, if I have a server right in my house, for example, because I believe that that's where it's safest, if anything happens to that server, I'm pretty much gone. With cloud solutions, not only do you have the fact that that is no longer your problem, because now you have what I would call built for purpose certified companies who have the certification and the infrastructure in place to make sure that your assets and your IT assets are safe and secure. It couldn't get any more secure because they don't do anything else. This is what they do. So you can be in the business of banking, or you can be in the business of education. And these partners are in the business of data hosting and cloud. And therefore, they are equipped, they are experienced, they have the functional expertise and the resources to ensure that everything that is there to you is safe and it's also backed up. If you look at the hosting space, for example, I think in most countries you will have, even for you to say that you have data hosting as a solution, there's certain certifications. So you go from tier 1 to 2, 3, 4, in design and even the way it's built in order for you to actually be in that business. In addition to that, there is backup that you have. Depending on the services that you buy, you can also back up your data so that if anything happens, you know that you have a backup somewhere. I've seen businesses do things like even geographical redundancy. Is to say, you know what, I just want to be sure that nothing happens to my data, and therefore it's not just the instance in Accra. I actually just want to put it in another border towns just in case something happens. So there's so many multiple levels of redundancies that are created into cloud and data solutions that I don't even know why you want to do this yourself. And then when you look at the cost of, let's look at power, for example. If you really want to secure your server, the ideal thing for you to do is to have power from 2 power providers. Because just in case, for example, something goes to ECG, you want to make sure that there's an alternative power source to that server, right? You will have a UPS, right? Depending on what goes wrong. So if your primary power goes down, it depends on how long your UPS can run for. If your power company is not able to restore the problem before your UPS goes down, then that's it. Your server is off. You're offline. Nobody can reach you. You can't transact any business. So somebody will be on an ATM thinking, oh, I need to cash money, and they're wondering why isn't it going? Because there's somewhere connectivity or at an application layer something is gone wrong, and therefore people can't use the services that they're supposed to be able to use. So I think it's very archaic for anyone to think about, just taking on ownership of IT dependencies that they can just outsource to companies that are fit for purpose, that can do this for them, so that they can actually just focus on what it is that they really do. The problem that they are solving primarily, not how they will provide air conditioning to the servers in the office.
So Danny has a question which reads, rural telephony and digital transformation is limited in rural Africa. What is Vodafone doing in this regard to make digitalization accessible to drive agribusiness in the wake of the African Continental Free Trade Area?
Very, very good point, actually. As you know, private sector, everything that we do is around making sure that when you go to an area, you need to ensure that actually there's sufficient enough customers who are interested in your services so that you can make a return on investment. Rural telephony doesn't look that direct. So because of that, operators normally, rural areas will be the last that you go to. But I think with a lot of public sector, social impact initiatives, either from the government or even within the international space, I think the case for rural telephony is changing a little bit. You can see a lot more interest. We in Vodafone Ghana, we have a couple of partners that we're working with right now to actually roll out rural telephony. We have a big agenda around rural telephony, and we're not just doing it with one partner. I think we're doing it with our 2 or 3 partners. One of them are, social impact initiatives by non-for-profit firms. But this is an area that we know that we're definitely going to address, and we're addressing it, from this year and moving on to future years, especially for agriculture, right? We have a very strong agenda around agriculture, how we want to digitize the entire agricultural value chain, from the farmer that has seeds that it wants to sell, in understanding exactly what it can sell those seeds for, understanding exactly where the buyers will be, the buyers understanding where the farmer will be, ensuring that actually they can the farmer can get money for those services electronically, and making sure that actually can deliver the goods. So there's an interesting value chain around agriculture, which digitization would really, really help. And without rural telephony, you will not really be able to digitize the value chain. So rural telephony is a major dependency in ensuring that you can bring agriculture into the digital inclusion. And we are working on that in Vodafone Ghana. And that's one of my, I'm really looking forward to what we're going to do within that space. And I know the projects that are ongoing at the moment.
The journalist in me can't help but ask, would you share a sneak peek of what the future looks like? I mean, for quite a while now, Vodafone has, been driving a digital inclusion agenda and been talking about the future being digital and whether we're ready or not. You want to tease us with something?
I would say watch the space. Yes, I don't think, I think I would rather surprise you. I know definitely something is coming. I know that we will have a few rural rollouts even this year. I know that I'm working on a couple of projects with my team around agriculture in itself. I know that those will come anytime now, but I'd rather keep them to myself so that we go and do the work and then you see the results.
Okay. Now, in talking about rural, if you look at the smartphone and feature phone divide, there are a lot more feature phones on the continent and by extension in Ghana than you would have smartphones. Our mobile penetration is growing. Current internet penetration is at about 50% or 56%, if I'm not mistaken. How are you ensuring that the stuff you roll out as far as digital adoption is concerned becomes meaningful to people who are also using feature phones? And sometimes these people tend to sit, for the lack of a better expression, at the broader base of the pyramid in terms of the market and people who may not have technologically savvy exposure to digital platforms. How are you accounting, how are you bringing those people along?
Okay, the technology space is a very, very big space, and this is a problem that is not just in Ghana. I think it's across Africa. Just a proportion of the addressable markets that don't even have the right access device for them to even be able to embrace digital. That space is changing a bit. You have OEMs in the market today that are now looking at, actually not just looking at, they have actually developed and launched what I will call basic smartphones. The problem is not that people who want to use feature phones. The problem is the price. There's people who are economically excluded from going into the smartphone journey because the price is just not something that they can afford. So you need to have devices that are affordable to the major demographic, like really, like you said, at the broader base. Need to be able to get devices that they can afford. And I think that is already changing. I know that some of those factories are in Africa. The factories that are now actually building what I call basic smartphones that can get everybody connected without them having to worry about not being able to afford it. And you would see that evolve over time. We have a device strategy at Vodafone as well in terms of what we want to do to just enable more devices. We're partnering with a few companies to be able to do this. We know that without the right access device, it will be very difficult for you to have 100% of your base or your population completely digitally included.
Wonderful. So I'm still opening the floor for more questions. If you do have some questions, please share them with us, and we'll ask Tawa those questions. In the absence of that, I'll ask a few more of mine, and then we probably would be closing a little earlier than normal, so we can all take the insights that Tawa has shared with us. Now, Tawa, you mentioned that one of the key upsides for digital adoption today is reach. Of course, it's exciting once you consider the impending start of the AFCFTA. But a lot of businesses that start, small businesses in Ghana, for example, until recently, you'd find a lot more people starting something that was almost like subsistence farming. It's enough for me to earn a bit of a living, take care of my family, and put a roof over my head and food on the table. But with a market the size of the AFCFTA, what would you say from your experience that entrepreneurs should do today using digital platforms or digital adoption as a foundation on which to leapfrog or leverage to reach bigger markets beyond our geography?
This is almost like a small businesses start like, personal businesses. So it will be a question of personal choice. Like I said earlier on, if your personal choice is you're okay, you need to make 100 cities a day, and 100 cities a day pays for XYZ, and pretty much you're fine, then I guess you're fine. My only thing I would say to you is probably that would diminish if you don't change the way you are making 100 cities. So even that in itself, you're not guaranteed, but you're fine. If if you want to do more, if you want your business to grow more, then you can start. How about just create even a digital presence? You can start by creating a digital presence, by sharing some of the things that you do, by letting some of your customers also share the things that you do. You may be very lucky in solving a problem that a lot of people are looking for someone to solve for them, for example, and they don't even know that you exist. So let's say, for example, you were a plumber, right? And there are people around where you live that don't even know that you are a plumber, but it would be great for them to have somebody that they can reach every time they have a plumbing need. If you were registered on a online directory for plumbing services, for example, that just means that not only do you have to worry about looking for those customers who have a plumbing problem within your geography to solve, those customers also know how to find you because you've registered yourself on a online directory. So they can say, find a plumber around me, and then your phone rings, and then you can actually pick up more customers. If you don't have that presence in itself, on just listing yourself digitally so that there's a presence, it's going to be very hard for you to make any sale. It will just take that much longer. So an identity, a digital identity is a way not just for you to be found, but also for you to be verified. And then when you have tools like, rate my services, tell me if I've done something well, that verification can be extended to the feedback that other people have given on your services. So now if I'm searching for a plumber in Greater Accra, for example, right, and I can see 10 plumbers, I can also not just see the 10 plumbers, I can also see the feedback on the services that those plumbers have provided to allow me to make a choice on which one has the best rating.
Okay, that's good answer to the question. So again, I'm going to ask that we send our questions in if there's any more. I think there's room to probably take a couple more questions. I'd like to use this opportunity to also remind everyone who's joined us that we have quite a lot of social media presence. You can start by going to the UKGCC website, and if you're on social media at Facebook, it's UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce. You can also reach out to the executive director, who is at Ajoba Chiama, and on Instagram is UK_Ghana Chamber of Commerce, or at UKGCC_executive director. Twitter is UKGCC_Accra or UKGCC_exec director. There's a YouTube channel where quite a lot of content is also placed for your use, and it's at UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce, and also on LinkedIn at UK-Ghana Chamber of Commerce or UKGCC Executive Director. And if you want to become a member, which I recommend you all to consider, do call 054-012-6619 and speak to the Membership Engagement Manager, Margaret, or you can send her a message via email at m.poku, Poku, P-O-K-U, m.poku at ukgcc.com.gh. So, Tawa, we've talked about all the upsides, and you've also talked about the things that we ought to do to safeguard our digital environment. I'd like us to end this Q&A session with some insights on the challenges that people, the little pitfalls that we ought to look out for, especially for those who are now considering making a foray into the digital space, and how they can mitigate against those pitfalls.
Thank you, Vincent. Once you've decided that you want to change the way you do your business, or you want to change how you interact with your customers, the next question is, I guess, for you is to say, what are those things that are important, and also how do I then start? So a pitfall could be if you're doing too many things at the same time, like you're trying to transform your business and you've decided to take a lot on without necessarily step changing some of those things that you want to be able to do. So it's great for you to go digital, but also you have to understand, one, that your customer is ready, right? And that you are doing something that you can afford to do and that you can finish, and you're not taking too much on. So I've seen, for example, if you decide to be an entrepreneur and you've come from an IT environment or you've come from a technology environment, sometimes you focus more on the application and the platform, and you put a lot more of your investment in those things, right? And you do too much at the very early beginning without necessarily considering, what are the basics I need to do and how do I move those basics into more things and more things. So you have to be very careful about making the right choices and prioritizing your digital journey. What's the basic thing I need to get fixed first? And then how do I build on the basics? So don't take too much on. Build it as you go along, and let's make sure that your customers are walking that journey with you. The second is also, now you've decided, let's say you've prioritized, that, okay, the first thing I need to do is X, say, for example, a web presence. Now, the next question is, okay, so how do I do it? So you have to also now resource yourself with as much information as possible in choosing the right option, the right solution, the right partner. The digital space is also a space where, you can be verified, but also you can be verified without being accountable. So it means that there's a flurry of solution providers for so many things that you want to be able to do. And it's very easy for somebody to have a claim, to have a solution for you by just having a web presence. And if you don't verify the person, if you don't pick the right partner, you may end up with a solution provider that is actually not fit for your business or doesn't understand what you're trying to do to resolve. So please do your background checks. Make sure that you are working with verified providers. If you are outsourcing your data center, for example, make sure that you're outsourcing your data center to a company that is verified, that you know that this is the service that they do. And therefore, the choices that you make depends on whether or not you are going to go live with that solution, or whether or not you're just going to have something that doesn't work and then you have to start all over again. So, two advice: don't take too much on. Prioritize exactly what it is that you need to digitize first. For a lot of small business, I would say, if you have a web presence without a payment channel, for example, I'm not sure it's in the right order. It is so important for your customers to be able to place an order on your website. Otherwise, it's just a flat page. It is more important that when they place that order, they can actually also make a payment. So that's very important. So maybe you want to do those three things first before you decide that, okay, now what I want to do is, get a CRM, for example, to tie on for my customer's website. Like, no, do those three first before you think of a CRM. And then when you want to do those three, choose the partner that is verified, that actually is proven in solving that problem for you. So, for example, Vodafone.
Wonderful. And a question comes through from Sarah, and Sarah's question is a very good one, I must say. It says, investing in Africa's young people by giving them the skill they need for the future is perhaps one of the smartest strategies for accelerating digital adoption in the region. What is Vodafone doing in this regard in Ghana?
Very great question. As part of my presentation earlier, I actually talked about what we've done within the educational sector. to support education, especially on digital. So Vodafone has a platform called Instant Schools. And this platform has educational content and curriculum, as well as assessment materials, all the way from kindergarten or through to secondary school, right? It is absolutely free to access and to use on Vodafone's website. Today, we have impacted and touched over 70,000 students who go there to learn, and then they go there to, for example, GES students will go there to actually do their GES assessment, and you don't have to worry about a data plan because it's free. We also have a national coding program that we started in 2018, right? We're actually teaching youths how to code, how to become developers in their own right. Today, we have touched and we have impacted over 1,500 youths on the national coding program. As part of the pandemic response and outside of the Instant School platform, we also invited pretty much every single school in Ghana to come and give us their website so that we can actually zero rate it on our network, so that any student today, anyone who's trying to learn something today, right, can actually continue to learn and have access to educational and academic materials without having to worry about the cost of data. So that's what we've done. I mean, there's a lot more, but I mean, those are the key ones that I mentioned earlier on. That so the Instant School, the National Coding Program, and the zero rating of educational content.
All right. So in the absence of any further questions, Tawa, thank you very much for availing yourself and dedicating time to bring us some insights and your experience. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Vincent, UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce. This was a pleasure. Looking forward to engaging you more in the future, and I'm looking forward to everyone coming onto Vodafone Network. Thank you so much.
Right. Thank you once again, Tawa. Now, a big thank you to the Department for International Trade and the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce. By way of a quick announcement, please get in touch with the team if you want to join, because not only do you benefit from great, insightful engagement such as this one, but you also get to network with other wonderful people like yourselves who are doing business here in the country and interface with UK businesses. There's lots to take away, and there's also great fun to be had. Tomorrow, we will be having a very important intervention, and I'd like you to get in touch with the team to find out how to participate. And this has to do with a virtual networking event tomorrow. After which my colleague DJ Black will be doing some virtual music for us to have a virtual hangout. So nobody would have predicted we'll be doing these things now, but I can guarantee you it will be fun. It's a way to usher in the new month and really the last quarter of the year. So do join us. And again, thank you so much. I'm Inshira Ado. My English name is Vincent. I have had a great time meeting with you, and to you who managed to tune in, please enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe out there, and please tell friends about UKGCC, and let's all sharpen our skills and our insights and do some great business together. Bless you, and thank you all.